morning members and welcome guests. Welcome to 818 meeting of legendary club of Gurgaon, that is Gurgaon Toastmasters Club. As we all have a mission in our life, Toastmasters Club also has a mission. And the mission of our Toastmasters Club is to provide supportive and positive learning experience in which members So, the mission of our Toastmasters Club is to provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communications and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. Now, Toastmasters' core values are integrity, respect, service, and excellence, IRSC. So, we all follow these core principles, we all follow this mission, and we have certain ground rules to make this meeting and to maintain the decorum of this meeting. So, I request everyone to please put your mobile on silent mode if you have not done so. I'll give 5 seconds for that. I hope everyone has done that. Now, as in Toastmasters, we refrain from talking about sex, politics and religion in a derogatory manner. Hence, please abstain from discussing these topics. Please do not cross-talk and do not interrupt the speakers. Please do not enter or exit room while a person is speaking on the stage. Okay? And by default, we shall be video recording this proceeding. Video recording will be posted upon YouTube. If anybody does not wish his or her speech to be recorded, please inform either Sergeant at Arms or our VPPR. Last but not the least, I request everyone to have fun and enjoy, because we all know learning happens when there is fun. With this thought, let me welcome our very charismatic and dashing presiding officer of this club and the president of this club, Toastmasters Mohit Arora. Please welcome.
Thank you, Toastmaster Kunal, for opening this meeting and calling me that. Welcome everyone on 818th meeting of Gurgaon Toastmasters. Before starting the meeting, I would like to introduce what all Toastmasters is to the guests who are present here today. Can you raise your hand to all our guests? You are here for the very first time? Very first time in Toastmasters?
Difficult. I ended reading.
You have basic idea of Toastmasters. So it means you are the first one who is experiencing Toastmasters for the very first time. Wonderful. So Toastmasters is an organization, an 100-year-old organization that was founded in the year 1924 by Dr. Gandhi with a simple motive of creating better public speakers and leaders. In Toastmasters, the overall organization has more than 16,000 clubs and with a membership base of 3 lakh club members spread across 149 countries in the world. Gurgaon Toastmasters Club is one of the clubs that was founded in the year 2008. It is the oldest community club of Gurgaon, Gurgaon Toastmasters Club, and we have completed almost 16 years. And in a typical Toastmasters meeting, as you already know, is divided into 3 sections: prepared speeches, and table topics, and evaluation section. Prepared speeches section is a section where members of the club come up on stage to give prepared speeches, deliver them on within the range of maybe 4 minutes to 20-25 minutes, depending upon the project they are in their part. And then there is a table topics section where table topics master comes up on stage and gives a topic, a random topic to the speaker. They can be guests and even the guests or members. They can speak upon on that topic for 1 to 2 minutes. That's a random topic and impromptu. And then we have the evaluation section headed by the general evaluator of the day that helps us evaluate all the speakers, whoever comes up on stage, and the overall meeting as a whole. This is the basic structure of the Toastmasters meeting, and today we will be following the same structure. Before proceeding forward in the meeting with the calling team on, I would like to have an introduction of the guests, starting with What's your name? What do you do and what topic is it?
So, hello everyone, and my name is Mahesh. I was working in analytics in Yahoo.com and similarly community and making new enhanced systems with these
What do you do, sir?
analytics.
Hello everyone, my name is Pankaj Yadav. I recently did my graduation from GTMC College, Delhi University, and I am a CAT aspirant. I want to pursue an MBA from a prestigious IIM, and I also want to hone my communication skills. So I want to be a part of the Toastmasters. Thank you.
Hello everyone. Everyone called me Amit Sharma, but I call myself a non-money person. I have been living in Mumbai, but recently shifted to Gurgaon. And if I talk about my journey, started and in 2023, previously 98. And I served as a VP PR and VP speech, and at this point in time, I'm serving as a VP, not VP, it's a president for my club. And side by side, I did some assessment period as per already, I came here a couple of weeks back and I was looking for one particular club where I can just hang out with the people and know more, create whole network. That's the we supposed to come here. That's all about it.
Thank you and welcome to Gurgaon Toastmasters. So you have basically shifted here or just for?
I shifted, but my family is still there. I have to go with them.
We'll see on coming following meetings also.
Hi everyone, my name is Gurgaon and by profession I am a chartered accountant working in Ernst & Young. The main purpose to join this club is to overcome my stage fear and to build the network. Hello everyone, I am Namita Modi. And it's a coincidence that two chartered accountants are sitting just beside. I am also a chartered accountant working in Deloitte. What brings me here is multiple reasons. It's because of my interest in this field from quite so long about speaking and presentations. I want to transition my career into a personal development coach and a corporate trainer. Hence, I want to enhance those skills.
Thank you and welcome to chartered accountants here.
Hi everyone, I am Abhilash Walia. I have been working in Bharti Airtel as a leader for SD1 and I have been here for public speaking between.
Thank you. So let's start with our first section of the meeting. That's prepared speeches section, and that section will be headed by our Toastmaster of the day. Today's Toastmaster is Toastmaster Bharti. I would like to invite Toastmaster Bharti upon stage. Motivation or mountain? Motivation or mountain? Toastmaster.
Motivation is often seen as the key to achieving success. But staying motivated is not always easy. We all have seen moments when our enthusiasm fades and challenges seem too great to overcome. That's where motivational strategies come in to help us push forward. Good morning, one and all. I'm GTMC. I'm Toastmaster of the day, and today's theme is Fountains of Motivation. One of the so today I'll be taking you on a journey of personal growth, a story that illustrates how the power of motivational strategies can help us achieve our goals and can transform our lives. One of the most powerful motivational strategies I have relied on is getting inspiration from others. So sometimes seeing others' journey or hearing their stories that is enough to rekindle our own motivation. Their success, their determination, their resilience, it can light a spark in us to keep us going. That is what happened with me, and my story I would like to share with you today. For years, I have loved mountains, their serene beauty, and the sense of tranquility they bring. Last year, one day, while scrolling through social media, I stumbled upon one the breathtaking videos and photos of mountain treks. I was mesmerized by the beauty of unexplored mountains, the adventure, and the personal triumphs shared by others on social media. I felt a surge of inspiration and motivation to experience it for myself. I just would like to ask you if anybody else has also experienced such kind of motivation, inspiration from someone else. It may be from social media. Anyone, if can share any inspiration to pursue some study or course. It happens, I think, with everyone. Some sort of motivation we get, inspiration we get from others. So in my case, it was inspiration from social media. So don't you think this initial spark from social media aligns with motivational strategy of finding inspiration from others? Seeing those images made me feel that excitement, that sense of accomplishment that others described. And it motivated me to pursue something I had never considered before. So with this newfound motivation, I was eager to plan a trip. So has any one of you done a trek? You have done a trek. Okay. So when was it first? Who inspired you to do that, or it was on your own?
It was my own.
Okay. Yeah. But in my case, it was inspiration from social media. What happened next, I will definitely share with you. But before that, to take this meeting further, I would like to invite General Evaluator of the Day, Toastmasters.
Good morning, everyone. I will be playing the role of general evaluator today, and as a part of my responsibility, I will be watching closely all the happenings and all the activities which are happening before and after the meeting. So, what I have learned as an evaluator in the past 6 months, and how to make your feedbacks creative. And I started applying this constructive way of giving feedbacks on evaluation in my organization as well, and in my regular life as well. A few days back, I tried to give the similar kind of feedback or kind of evaluation to my wife. She's an amazing cook, and she has cooked curry a few days back. And I was like, curry is amazing, the texture is good, it tastes good, but you know what, you can add a little bit of more curd inside. and next day, I was cooking the entire day. So you should know where to apply your feedback and who to apply this. So the 4 major or the 5 major role players who will be helping me in this meeting to evaluate are active listener, and then we have the founder, grammarian, timer, and body language evaluator. I would like to start with the active listener so that it will give a quick intro how it works. So for that, I would like to invite Toastmaster Manoj on the stage to tell us more about what active listener does.
Hi everyone. So we have started this, I think, active listener since last 2 sessions. So I am to skip for 2 next sessions. So this active listener role is primarily to listen to everybody's speech and note down interesting questions or interesting facts, so that at the end of the session we can sort of revise and see who is listening actively, and maybe I have not bought any chocolates like what did last time, but I'll show a thumbs up.
Thank you very much. A second pillar is our counter, Toastmasters Village. Grace has also joined us recently and we started doing this. Thank you so much. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
We all want to become immaculate. Yes. So we all spend a lot of time learning, putting so much hard work in learning new languages. Want to, of course, look smart and fascinating to others to impress them. In this same urge, I also added one word in my vocabulary, you know. And I felt like that I'm looking super cool. Spoiler alert, it ain't. The words like, you know, so these are the crutches words. These are the last slice of pizza we eat. Even we are stuffed. We think we need it, but in reality we doesn't. So as a R counter, I will be, noting these words, like, and will be sharing my report once I will be invited by journal evaluator and will share my report. Thank you so much. Over to you.
Our next pillar is grammarian, Toastmaster Ayush.
Good morning, all of you.
Good morning.
I am Ayush, and this is my first role as a member of Toastmasters Club. So I will be grammarian for the day. So as a grammarian, it is my responsibility to look closely at the good usage of the grammar which you exhibit in your speech. At the same time, I will also take a close look at the not so good, or I would say a mediocre use of the language which you include in your speeches. So it is also my responsibility to introduce to you the word of the day and idiom of the day. So word of the day is immaculate and the meaning is without any flaw. So as a sentence example, you can say that PM Sunny's speech, introductory speech today was immaculate. The idiom of the day is to make a mountain out of a molehill. So the meaning is to make a big deal of a seemingly insignificant problem. So the example which I can think of is, if I make a mess of one of my speeches in Toastmasters and I conclude that I will never become a good public speaker, I am making a mountain out of a molehill. So I encourage you all to improvise your speeches and use these words in your speeches, and looking forward to a great learning session.
Your understanding for your role was immaculate. Whenever we are using the word of the day, we will be used to show the thumbs up sign. And whenever we are using the idiom of the day, we show the victory sign. So our next pillar is Toastmaster Avish, who will be playing the role of body language interpreter.
Did you even know that silence communicates? When we are not saying anything, our body is saying something. Everything that we are not saying non-verbally, unintentionally, we are providing some information to the audience who's listening. Now, this non-verbal communication can draw people in, make your content engaging. It can also confuse people. It can distract people. It can also convey that as if you're saying something which is not true. Now, I have prepared, there are 5 things that you can actually utilize in body language that will be of your benefit, and every speaker upcoming from here on can utilize that. There are 5 things that probably you can note down if you want to. Repetition. When we repeat something, I want to repeat this again and again. You're emphasizing, you are strengthening the content so that people should be paying attention to. There is something called as contradiction. When I'm saying it's a yes, it's contradicting. I'm providing something which is absolutely a no. The substitution. That is when, last time, who all were there when I gave a speech? Okay. So, the garden
Doesn't care. Doesn't.
So what I did here, I said garden and then I used my hands, which substituted for the words that I could have used. There is something else as complimenting. That is when you, let's say you pat somebody on their shoulder. That is a complimenting thing. And there's another thing which is accenting. Now, accenting is, if I say something like this is an important point. So I've added some weight onto what I was supposed to say. I'll be presenting my report by the end of the session. Thank you very much and all the best to everyone.
Another very important role which will be played by Aman is for the timer role. Timer plays a crucial role for the entire meeting, and he will be, I think he should talk about the role itself. So please welcome Aman.
Good morning, Toastmasters and members. I am the timer for the day. So the role is basically to note down the time of each speaker and make sure they complete the speech in the required time. I will be timing for speeches, evaluations and the table topics given today. So for prepared speeches, I will show the time is 5 to 7 minutes. I will show the green card at 5 minutes, yellow at 6 minutes and the red one at 7 minutes, which means that you have to wind up your speech. Note that there is a grace period of 30 seconds on the above and like higher and lower side of this prepared speeches. Then there is table topics. The time is 1 to 2 minutes. Again, 1 minute green, 1.5 minutes yellow card, and 2 minutes for the red card, and 2 minutes. And this grace period only on the higher side of this. You can't speak for 30 seconds and go away. Then there is evaluations. Again, 2 to 3 minutes. For 2 minutes, I'll show the green card. For 2.5 minutes, I'll show the yellow card. And for 3 minutes, I'll show the red card. Again, there's a grace period on either side of this component. So at the end of the meeting, I'll present my report on who completed speech on time, who exceeded or didn't speak cover.
Besides these 5 role players, we have the individual evaluators for all the prepared speeches. So the introduction of the evaluators will be done by TNP once the speakers will come on the stage. Now I will hand over the stage back to our TNP Toastmaster of the day, Marty.
As I told you, now I was motivated to plan and track. But staying motivated is not always easy. And staying motivation is not just enough. Sometimes we need to have persistence. That is ability to keep going even when something goes wrong or the progress is slow or not happening. So in my case too, I had a significant challenge ahead of me. It was convincing my husband. Actually, I generally go along with my family. Most of the trips are planned with family or my husband. I have had some trips with my friends too, but my preference is going with my family. When I approached my husband with all my excitement about the trip, his immediate response was, not happening. Let me tell you, my husband is more of a beach lover who prefers sounds of waves over the rustle of leaves or cool breeze of mountains. Mountain vacation is not exactly his idea of perfect trip. Whenever I mention mountains in front of him, his response is, too much walking, too much walking. And here I was actually asking him for trekking through the mountains. Now, I had a great level of discussion with him. I tried to persuade him to my personal strengths. I tried to sell the idea of the adventure, the challenge, the escaping the city. But his response, who escapes the city by finding out? And in the moment of exasperation, I blurted out, fine, I'll go so. And that day, later in the evening, I made official announcement in front of my family, my sons and my husband, that since your dad has refused, so I'll be going solo on this trip. I thought they will be shocked and they will maybe a little impressed. But guess what happened? They laughed and said, you and solo, you have never carried your own luggage ever in any of our trips, and you'll be going solo. And they laughed again. I became furious and stormed out of the room, determined to prove them wrong, because I knew I was capable of doing anything. But then deep down, I knew they had a moment. Because since my childhood, I was a pampered daughter, in my paternal family, the only daughter, with only sister to two brothers, then a caring husband, and now mother to two sons, grown up now. So I never had to worry about carrying my luggage. But still, I knew I was capable of doing anything, and I could go on this solo trip, which was again on my mind for quite some time. Again, an inspiration from social media. So I was determined to go on solo trip. So what happened next? I'll tell you. And before that, I would like to take this meeting further to the first section of this meeting, prepared speeches section. And our first speaker of the day is TM Ruchira. I would like to give a brief introduction about her. Hailing from foothills of Telangana, Ruchira accepts life as it comes to her. A management graduate who, after stepping into the world of education some 25 years back, has grown her roots there and finds her solace with the young in 1991. Her favorite place is her classroom with her students, with an endeavor to eradicate the fear of numbers from young minds. So before inviting TM Ruchira, I would invite her evaluator TM Kunal to explain the objective of her speech.
Good morning, everyone. My target speaker, Toastmasters Ruchira, will be delivering a speech from Level 1, Project 1 part of Presentation Mastery. The purpose for this project is for the member to present a speech upon any topic, receive feedback, and apply the feedbacks to a second speech. Timer, please note, the time allotted for this speech is 5 to 7 minutes. All the best, Toastmasters.
The title of the speech is Embracing Vulnerability. I request you to embracing vulnerability. Embracing vulnerability. Also.
When I took my first job as a teacher in Indore back in 2002, I knew I was making a significant shift in my work environment and culture. Moving from a HR recruiting firm involving 2-3 teams and some fresh recruits, all of a sudden I was asked to offer my services to 2 differently profiled professionals. One, my tiny human beings, who were my most lovable and important customers. And 2, a set of experienced teachers who have been in this field of academia much before me. I had to get up fast and catch up with them. Even though I had an expertise of mathematics, but teaching my subject to those little ones and ensuring that they get what I am teaching them was a huge and a considerable responsibility. However, the fear and the shame of not being the most immaculate or an articulate speaker and my imperfect pronunciation made me not to converse and hold any interaction with my peers. Perhaps at that point in time, they must have thought this behavior of mine very, very odd, reserved, and at times rude. I wonder how many of you, like me, must have hidden your weaknesses and your failures from your superiors and teammates because of the fear of being judged. How many of you hesitated to show your true self because you knew that what otherwise people will think this as my weakness? Allow me to share a survey which happened long back when a couple of them were asked about their opinion on vulnerability. If you can just flash the slide. And just take a few seconds to read out the responses. Now here you must have seen that the responses are a set of and a mix of positive and negative responses. However, vulnerability in general over a period of time was mistaken for weakness. On the other hand, it is a source of immense power. Going back to my journey, when I portrayed myself as invulnerable, having that armor around me so that nobody could see my true self. Even though I may be a master of mathematics, but I never wanted people to know my imperfect pronunciation. And that was the time, believe me, I felt burdened. I could not sleep at night when I had to speak in public. When I heard my peers converse so fluently, I could not participate because I felt like a misfit because I could not find the right word or the right vocabulary to make connections with them. And this happened through several schools, several teams, when one fine day I felt that I'm not doing justice to myself. Pretending to be someone I'm not. And then I came across and heard this wonderful TED talk by Dr. Brady Brown on vulnerability. And this moved me completely and immensely. When this thing of quote remained with me for life, vulnerability is not winning or losing. It's having the courage to show up and be seen when we have no control on the outcome. That vulnerability is the courage that starts with showing up and letting ourselves to be seen. Believe me, friends, that was a turning point in my life. That moved me. Following her advice, I started opening up to my friends, my family, my teammates, my superiors, my colleagues, revealing that even though I'm a teacher, I might not have the answer to everything. I may have a command over my subject mathematics, but not entirely over English. And when I did that, I felt at peace. It was a liberating and an exhilarating feeling. And from that day onwards, I started speaking well. I no more feared and dread when I had to speak in public. I just want to tell you something on vulnerability again. When I showed my vulnerability and took that risk to come out and allow myself to be open as I am today. When I removed that armor around me to feel like a wholehearted person, you know what I realized? That I am just like anybody else. And that gave me the lot of confidence to be myself. to show up for myself and for others, each time, every time. And friends, that's what you need in life. And today, I want to leave you with a question. What is a bigger risk? Letting go of what people think of you, or letting go of how you feel, who you are, what you believe in? Ladies and gentlemen, this is Ruchira Khanna signing off today with a hope of rising and daring, greatly embracing vulnerability. Thank you.
It was a wonderful speech, Gabriel. Thanks for sharing your experience with us. And you have actually encouraged us also to accept vulnerability. It may lead to a path to success, sure. So I told you how I was now eager to go for the trek, and then I had announced that I will be going soon. But later that evening, when I was sitting alone and I reflected upon this idea, I realized that I was actually not mentally prepared for this sudden plan and then a solo trip. Sometimes, I realize sometimes it's not just enough to persist. Life throws us curveballs and we need to practice flexibility. We need to adjust our approach while keeping our goals in sight. Another motivational strategy, flexibility, is all about understanding that path to achieving our goals may not always be a straight line. Obstacles will arise, plans will change, and we may need to change our course. It's all about finding new ways to move forward, even if circumstances are not going as planned. Here I was in a situation when I turned to flexibility. My family had refused to go with me. I was not prepared to go solo. Now, if you are in such a situation, who would you approach? Your family is not there. Yes. That is what I did. I turned to my friends. With all my excitement, I was pretty sure that one of my friends will definitely jump over this idea of trek and the adventure. But no. One by one, all my friends turned my desperation down. One said, "Oh Bharti, I'm busy on this weekend." Another said, "Oh darling, I would love to, but I'm not much of a trekker." And another one said, "Oh, are you kidding? I will prefer spas over steep hills." And one by one, there was unanimous no from everyone. This made me more frustrated. What happened next? I'll tell you. Before that, I would like to invite our second speaker of the day, and our second speaker is TM Vishal Asrani. It's his icebreaker speech. Speech title is "Unfolding Chapters: A Glimpse into My Life." A little introduction about him. He's a software engineer by profession. He has close to 9 years of industry experience, currently working as a tech lead at OYO. Apart from work, he likes to spend time with family and friends, and he's a big fan of the Indian cricket team. Before inviting TM Vishal Asrani, I request his evaluator, TM Abhishek, explain the opportunity.
Fellow Toastmasters and welcome guests, a very happy Sunday morning. So my target speaker of the day is Toastmaster Vishal Ansari, and he is going to deliver his level pathway presentation mastery level 1 project 1 icebreaker speech. Timer, please note the timing for the speech is 4 to 6 minutes. The purpose of the speech is to introduce himself to the club and also understand the basic structure of making a speech. I will evaluate him on basic parameters like eye contact, vocal clarity, voice modulation, and also especially on 2 more parameters which was requested by him, which are storytelling and confidence. I wish him all the very best, and because this is going to be his first speech in the very club, I request all of us to give him an enthusiastic standing ovation once he delivers his speech, and I congratulate him to begin his wonderful journey, all of which is something all of us are already experiencing. Thank you very much.
Let us have dear Vishal Ansari on the stage. Unfolding chapters.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Vishal Ansari, and today I'm here to deliver my icebreaker speech. I was born to a Sindhi family in June 1990 in Chandrapur. I have one younger brother and then 3 younger sisters. One day, my father and my uncle were watching TV and they were jumping in joy. So I captured them. I was very young at that time. They were walking surrounding and round smashing Sri Lankan bowlers all through the park in 1999 Cricket World Cup. That was my first ever match which I saw, and from then my interest in cricket grew up, and since then I'm a big fan of Indian cricket. After my 12th, I opted for BCA. In my first year of BCA, I was taking a coaching for one of the subjects under Sodium. This was the time when 3 Idiots movie was released. This movie, 3 Idiots movie, and Sodium had motivated me to study in the top ranked college of India and get a job from there. But right after that, a downfall in my career started. I was in my second year of my BCA and I had failed in 6 out of 9 subjects. I somehow moved to 3rd year, and in March 2011, I had to clear all the subjects of 3rd year along with 6 subjects of my second year. I was somehow able to do that, and thereby I was able to save my year. But after that, I was fed up with studying. So I moved to Pune and I decided to take up a job. I was working with Bank of New York Mellon in Pune, and after working there for 6 months, I realized that I won't grow much in that role. So I started preparing for my NCA, and by God's grace, I was able to score 99.3% in my NCA, and I was able to get rank 1 college of Maharashtra, which was GTMC Mumbai. I moved to Mumbai to pursue my education, and Mumbai welcomed me with open arms. My time at BJDI was the golden period of my life. I met a couple of friends for life, and everything also worked as expected. I also received a good job from BJDI through a college placement. The dream that I used to see in second year of BCA was finally completed in BJDI Mumbai. After that, I started working as a software engineer, and in 2018, I met the love of my life. She was Pari, and in January 2019, we both got married in Chandrapur. But shortly, we had to come back to Mumbai as we both were working in Mumbai. In 2020 March, COVID struck India, and I believe COVID was a blessing in disguise for us. because that gave us the opportunity to spend next 2.5 years with our family in Singapore. And this was the time when we were also blessed with a baby boy on 1st of November 2021. Pari and I used to see Mahabharata a lot. And Lord Krishna used to address Arjun by the name of Parth. And taking inspiration from the same, we named our son as Parth. Then came October 2022. India was playing with Pakistan in T20 World Cup in Melbourne. And I was congratulated by the way Kohli was playing that day. I had seen Kohli live in Wankhede Stadium in Mumbai scoring 235 runs. But the way Kohli was had played against Pakistan in Melbourne was really amazing. Especially the six that he hit on the ground to Harry's Row. That day, I had made up a mind to see India versus Pakistan match live in a stadium someplace. And luckily, I was able to get ticket to 2023 Cricket World Cup in Ahmedabad to watch India versus Pakistan match. I went there with my father, and I cannot tell what a wonderful experience that was. I still kept that ticket as a souvenir for me. And someday I wish to see the India versus Pakistan match again with my father and with my son as well. But yeah, then came November 2022. We had celebrated our son's first birthday. And after that, we had to come back to Mumbai as work from home was coming to end. In October 2023, I had received a new job opportunity from home. For that, I had to leave Mumbai with a heavy heart and come to Gurgaon. Gurgaon has been great at curing its weather. And in my 9 years of industry experience, I had realized that learning is the one thing that should always go on. And communication is the one area where I feel there is a massive scope of improvement in this. And ladies and gentlemen, this is my reason to join Toastmasters. Thank you.
Good to know you are the beautiful journey of your life and your family. So now, I was standing in a situation when my family had refused, my friends had refused, and I was not mentally well. This situation brought me to another motivational strategy, which is adaptability. Adaptability is one of the most crucial motivational strategies, as life rarely goes as per plan. And when things do not work out the way we expect, or a mission seems to be impossible, then adaptability actually helps us to reassess the situation and helps us to find ways to move forward. It may be just like adjusting your approach, or seeking help from unexpected sources, or taking a different path altogether. But it's not about abandoning the rule, but being open to change. And there I also adopted adaptability. Now I realized that I needed to change my approach. Now, no friends, no solo trip, but back to the husband. I had no choice. I realized that I need to change my approach. I shifted gears, but this time instead of pushing him, I expressed how this trek meant to me and how I have been dreaming of the trek for myself and accepting this challenge. After something changed in his mind this time, and after a heartfelt conversation and maybe a little guilt tripping about how much I have been dreaming of that trek, he finally agreed. It was not immediate, but yes, maybe in the spirit of support, he decided to join me. And next weekend we packed our bags and we embarked on our journey first trek. It was trek to Triun and we really enjoyed it. And now I would like to, we'll have our third speaker of the day with us. Our third speaker is TM Vanshul. The title of his speech is "Change is the Only Constant." TM Vanshul is a dedicated professional who values work-life balance. During the weekdays, he focuses on his career, and when the weekend arrives, he cherishes quality time with his family. It's his way of unwinding and recharging after a hectic week. Before inviting TM Vanshul, I request his evaluator, TM Saurabh, to explain the objective of the speech.
As this is an icebreaker speech and the objectives were repeated prior in the previous speech, so it will be the same. Just be mindful, as a ritual, we'll be giving a standing ovation after the speech ends. And with that being said,
Standard timing of his speech is 4 to 6 minutes. Let us have TM Vanshul.
क्या आपके टूथपेस्ट में नमक है? क्या आपके बाल सुंदर और लंबे हैं? So these are the questions that I get asked when anyone that I tell that I am a marketer by profession. And when I tell them that I'm a marketer, apart from getting these questions, they also ask me, do you get to see the celebrities? Do you get to meet Uni? Do you get to meet Rishabh? I have to then explain to them that yes, these things happen, but it's only once in a blue moon. Otherwise, my job is a regular one of data company, where at the end of the day, just like everybody else, I have to come and show my findings to the top management in a Word doc or PowerPoint. I realized that I really enjoy this profession of marketing. Why? Because it requires me to constantly change. Because the consumer has evolving needs, and to be at the top of your game, you need to really understand who the consumer is. So as I was asked to give the icebreaker speech, I said, okay, let's take a step back. Let's evaluate that why is it that I like constant change in my life again and again. And then I realized that for the last 3 decades has nothing been but a story of change. And this change started in 1990 when I was a little young boy. So that India of that time was very different from what we see today as a modern progressive nation. My father worked long hours, 9 to 9. He went on extended tours. And it was often very difficult to communicate with him because at that point there were no mobile phones. Even getting a landline connection took around 2 to 3 years. And that's where he said and decided that he would make a better living, give a better life to us. And he decided that we would move to the country. So that's when, ladies and gentlemen, I had the first change of my life where we as a family uprooted ourselves from Delhi and moved to a little town known as Abu Dhabi in Europe. And as it happens that when you come to a foreign land, you have to navigate through the various cultures, languages, tradition, and it wasn't an easy task at all. And this is where I'm very thankful to the community, to the Muslim Indian community in the Gulf, which helped us navigate through all of these challenges. And I remember that we used to have huge reunions, especially during Diwali, when everybody would come together and they would greet each other with their first name, because that's how close and strongly knit the community was. As I progressed through school, primary education, secondary education, made a lot of friends, and it was time to move on to my higher studies. And that's when I decided to do the second change in my life, that is moving back to India, the place where it all started, because there were not really a lot of great institutes to pursue my higher education. Now, I moved to a city called as Chandigarh. Moving back to India should have been easy, right? I was an Indian, I'd lived abroad, sure, but I mean, one adapts. But as I landed in Chandigarh, I realized that the two cities were worlds apart. I had to understand the local slang. And that's where I understood that Yara Kida does not mean where you're going, but means how you're doing. Food was again a challenge, where hostel food is another different ballgame. I could not differentiate between the yellow dal being green and why green bhindi was actually yellow. And the course curriculum itself was very, very good. I did not understand the aim said of being a technical engineer. And that's where I decided that I'll cut my losses short. I'll cut my losses short because it really wasn't my cup of tea. I did not understand technical engineering. And that's where, ladies and gentlemen, I made the third change in my life of pursuing a degree in management. Now, since then, life has thrown a lot of challenges, and learning from the past, I've made a lot of changes constantly, whether it be in my career, moving from sales to research to marketing, moving and changing cities, whether it be from Delhi to Patna, Kolkata, Bangalore, and then back to Delhi again. And there is one thing that I've realized. I've realized that aside from the fact that change is the only constant in life, people who are really able to drive this change are really good storytellers. That's why I decided that I really wanted to be a great storyteller. And it's no easy feat, because these are the visionary people who make the future happen. And that's, again, I decided that let's do another change in my life, and I joined Toastmasters, where I know that I'll get the help from peers, learn from professionals in a supportive environment, and hone the skill of storytelling. So that's the story of my life. Thank you.
I shared with you my story, how different motivations have helped me to achieve my goals. Journey, the thread was actually really beautiful. But real understanding for me was to know that motivation can come in different forms. Be it finding inspiration from others, being flexible, being persistent despite initial resistance, and learning to adapt and communicating your needs effectively. Motivation is finding right strategy to achieve your goals and with this, we'll end our first section of the meeting, the prepared speeches section. We'll move to our next section of the meeting, which is table topic session. For that, I would like to invite table topic master of the day, PM.
I'm taking off from the avoidance of adaptability. So the greatest book I've enjoyed today, Toastmasters and the table topic master is my first experience, adaptability. But as I was coming, and I was delighted what I was doing, I saw on a book, which find balance. So when I'm finding my balance here, I will look at the people I invite to look at their balance, and the game will start like this. I've covered five different headings, which is personal experience, hypotheticals, reflective questions, fun and light-hearted, and self-improvement. So in any of these, you can choose what you want to speak on. And for that, I will give you a relevant question, and we carry on. So let me invite Charlie.
Give me the hardest. Give me the hardest.
Subject.
Okay, I'll give you something. How do you set and achieve your personal goals? How do you set and achieve your goals?
I think whenever you want to achieve a goal that you have set for yourself, first and foremost you have to ask yourself, do you really want to do this? Because you have to be very much clear in your mind and your heart that is this my goal or is it something that has been kind of injected by marketing probably or by someone else? Because you have to realize most of the thoughts and ideas that we want to achieve for are not our thoughts. They are mostly planted or induced. So we, first and foremost, the first step of the process is to know that this is mine. The second thing that I step onto is having a commitment. I know that motivation doesn't work for me. So what really works is habits and discipline. I just take a commitment. Okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to cry. I'm still going to do this. I'm sick. I'm still going to do this. That kind of a commitment. Now that two things are the third thing is exploration. Whenever you're learning something, you're like a little child. You're trying to figure out what everything is. You're trying to test the boundaries of the environment. Try and experiment as many times as possible, as different combinations. Then what happens? Something interesting happens when you have enough data. You start seeing interesting patterns and boundaries. You start noticing, okay, I'm good at this stuff and I'm not so good at this stuff. And once you know that, what are the boundaries, what you're good and what you're not good at. The last and final step is, okay, I want to achieve this. Based on my weak points, where I'm strong at. This is a weak point that I needed. I focus on it. And these are my step-by-step process on how do I set and forward. Over time.
Who would be the next one? Sure. Which of these what does success mean to you? And how do you measure it?
I am a spiritual person. I sincerely believe in the higher power and the purpose why I am put on earth. Success for me is to do justice to the reason why I've been put on this earth and simply do my best every single day. And I do that by not owning anything I do, be it the good stuff or the bad stuff, myself. I sincerely believe that everything I do in this moment and whatever I've done in the past and whatever I'm going to do in the future, it is all but the leelas of the higher power. I'm merely an instrument to whatever I do on a daily basis. And this, if I'm able to do justice to this line of thought, I would believe that I've lived a successful life, and I do not, I'm not afraid of death. I oftentimes think what I would be going through when I'm lying on my deathbed, and more often than not, it is this one thought that I have. I would be really content with my life, with all opportunities I got, good or the bad, because to my mind, and we have a great philosopher and a thought practitioner sitting here, I think that there are perspectives to right and wrong, and there is no objectivity there. So if I even think about the larger scheme of things, we are on this planet Earth, and you have universe, then multiverse, then all this mechanism is running by some higher authority. So I would consider myself to be a successful person if I'm able to do justice to everything I've been put here on earth to do and live in the moment. Thank you very much.
Who has been the most influential person in your life? How did they impact?
Influence or motivation. These are two terms always invite us to think from different perspectives. And I'm so grateful to have many people in my life who have influenced me and even sometimes motivated me. My grandmother, who was the first one who inculcated the best habits in me as well as the values. Who am I today? Because of the values which have been provided to me. When I grew up, I started founding. It's not the thing which I got it from my grandmother are not enough. As a human being on this earth, I need to do something else, which is growth. I need to grow in every aspect of my life. Slowly and gradually, I come to know that multiple people who are there to help me out. And the most influential person in my life, none other than Anthony Tony Robbins. When I heard about him, the first thing which came in my mind, that was the documentary which is available on Netflix, I'm Not Your Guru. When I watched that, I came to know everything is within me. Nothing is holding me back except my mindset, which is always making a mountain out of a mountain. Later on, I realizing if I want to be an impactable person, I need to control my mindset. From then on, I made personal growth as my first priority. Did a lot, researched as well as learned so many things in the human psychology. And today I feel now I am influenced by myself. What I have done, what I have achieved, and what I am going to have in my life in the coming years, all because of the efforts which I have put in and the people who all are around me, always letting me go ahead, push myself. That's all about the influence and what I love. Thank you.
One more guest. No, so two members are taken. Yes. Yeah.
The questions can be from your personal experience, on and line artist, self-improvement. Which subject would you like to work on? Can I give you a question? Self-improvement. Which is one habit you would like to break and why? Any one habit of yours?
So first of all, good morning everyone. Whenever we try to think or see someone, we had a chattering mind. I hope everyone has experienced that, and that is so somehow overwhelmed sometimes that it just controls ourselves. It just controls our mindsets. It just controls our true nature. It just controls our basic reactions over the period of time. So I think as a human, and what my colleague has said, we are all spiritual souls on a human experience that's really immaculate in itself. And the chattering mind is the habit that I wanted to break. And this and how I break it is the one thing that all spiritual masters and all the great leaders and the saints have told is meditation by itself. I have read many of the books. I have practiced Vipassana meditation and being into it for many long years, and this had helped me a lot. And another thing is having a good exercise, having a good routine, is by having a daily schedule. Thank you for listening to me.
Who will come next? Please. What is a hobby or activity you love doing and why?
So a hobby or activity that we love doing, it is always something that brings much peace to us, joy to us, and we can do it at any point of time. We don't feel tired while we are doing it or after we have done it for a long number of hours. We feel energized after we complete it and while we are doing it. We do not get overwhelmed at any point of time when we are doing it. That hobby, that activity for me would be one, journaling, writing. At any point of time, I can pull out my phone, write about anything that I hear and reflect upon it, add my thoughts onto it. So that is one activity that gives me a lot of joy, and I really feel fulfilled when I do that, when I publish something, when I write an article. So that is one activity, and the other is listening to podcasts, in getting to know all the inspirational speakers, their thought process, their journeys, and how they are able to make a difference in the world and in the lives of other people. So this is what brings me joy and are my hobbies. Thank
Members, fearless members, fun members. Right, amongst members. So I see the hands are different. Okay. So that was enthusiasm. So any member in the meanwhile, I'll come back. If you could have dinner with any historical figure, who would it be and why?
Well, that's an interesting question. An historical figure who I would have dinner with.
So earlier I thought someone like Einstein, but then when I reflected deep, I was like, why not the Buddha himself and get the teachings directly? Because again, as guest man spoke, like he practiced Vipassana meditation, so do I, because it just gives you a sense of calm and being able to learn from the great man himself and be able to perform it better, because as you know, we all are like human beings, we get distracted up and don't, and even if we have the time, we don't do the correct things, like just laying around in bed on Sundays, gaming all night, etc. That's what I do. So if I am like, guided by the person who has discovered this true thing, I think I'll be able to stick to it better, because I know that whatever he has said is true, and sometimes there is doubt in our minds, like what if it has been mixed with some things, like what if over all these 2500 years something has been added, something has been deleted, and if it's not true. So if I'm able to learn from the great master himself, it will be a great learning. So
Thank you very much.
That was a very interesting session. It was very interesting this time, reflecting upon ourselves in different geographies. So now we'll have a break of 5 minutes. After that, we will continue with our next session, which is evaluation.
As we are into contest season, and yesterday itself we attended that judges training, some of us also attended, and contest season mainly focuses on the timing part. So from today onwards, we will be focusing more on the timing parts also. The speeches that